tap it fast. Silver drum, this round's the last. Keg time, pour it, let it flow.
Good morning. It's a sunny Saturday morning, and today we're going to be doing some kegging. I made a brew a number of weeks ago, which you saw me make. This is actually a different brew that I'm kegging, but the principle is the same. Since the last time I was here, there's been a couple of updates to the brewery, as provided by my lovely wife Cheryl. So she has given me this brewing hoodie, and also I have some signs on the door. And if we go inside, we have the brewery clock, and it's just nice little enhancements like that. So today we are going to be kegging this Verdant Light Bulb Clone. It's a hazy IPA, and I have had a sneaky taste last night and it tastes absolutely amazing. So we're going to be moving it, what they call closed. So we're going to be moving it from this into this keg here, and also that little keg there, because there's 23 litres in this, and that will accept about 19. So there's a little bit extra that we'll put in this cute little thing down here. We'll be using this carbon dioxide cylinder, which is a SodaStream cylinder, to create some pressure and also to push things through a little bit. And we will leave the fermenter up there. You can see at the bottom there's all sorts of shrub, as they call it. We won't be taking that out because this pressure fermenter has a filter on it. So this was fermented under pressure constantly, so the beer that's produced will be naturally carbonated. I should add, a couple of weeks ago I kegged some what's called Fuggle DD beer, which was an ale, into this keg here. Somewhere in the process something went wrong, and I've sent it off to be analysed, and it seems that there was some type of yeast infection. We don't really know how that got there. It produces quite an off flavour of vinegar, apple. Anyway, not nice, but it may clear up, who knows. I'm going to leave it in there and see how it is, and might even try it this afternoon. If it's not any good in a week or so, then I'll chuck it. It's a shame, but sometimes these things happen. But I do know at the moment my Verdant Light Bulb Clone is nice. The first process is these kegs need to be thoroughly cleaned and sanitized, and I've done that process already. So there was a cleaning solution that I pushed through it, followed by a sanitizing solution, and it goes through anything that touches the beer, otherwise you can have all sorts of problems. Same with that little one down there. The next thing I did was I put some CO2 in it to purge out the oxygen that was in there. Having oxygen on your beer is not good. Have you noticed when you have a beer, after you have let it sit for a while in your glass, it doesn't taste quite as fresh as it did when you first got it? That is the oxygen affecting it, at least in my mind. So the first thing I will have to do is to get all the sanitizer out of this, and so all we're left in there is CO2. I'll set the camera up so hopefully we can get this. Right, the first thing I'm going to do is hook up this liquid line to the keg. Until it clicks on. There we go. And now that sanitizer is coming out into this bucket. So we've got about 13 or so litres to go. So that's being pushed out under the pressure of the CO2 that's in the tank. So at the end of this, we'll have a clean keg and it will be full of carbon dioxide, which is what we want. Just to encourage it along a little bit, I'll just put a little bit more carbon dioxide in the keg. And what this also does, it sanitizes this liquid tube so we don't get any possibility of infection. Just a little bit more CO2. It's coming to the end here. And what we want is for this line to be fully cleaned and airtight. It doesn't actually matter if there's any sanitizer left in the line, because after an hour it degrades itself to literally just water and a small byproduct which is not harmful at all. So there we go. Just take this off and there we're done. So this bucket is now full of sanitizer, so quite handily I can just put my disconnects in there. I've also got my CO2 lines, so what I can do is just quickly attach it to here. That fills up with CO2. I'll quickly disconnect this and there we go. So that is now fully purged with CO2. That's exactly what we want. And I'll also put those in there. So the whole idea of this is to have no oxygen contact between here, the fermenter, and here, the keg. So the first thing I'll do is connect the liquid outline from the fermenter to here. There we go. Now the idea is there's some CO2 pressure in here that will push, a bit like a siphon, here to here. However, at the moment there's probably too much carbon dioxide in the keg for that to happen. So I'm just going to release some of it like that, and when I connect it should start to flow. And there it goes. Now the CO2 being pushed out, so what's a good idea is to connect this CO2 out or in to here and then back onto the fermenter. So the displaced CO2 from here is now going into the fermenter and then pushing it down. So that will take a while to fill, but it is going through nicely at the moment. I may have to top up the CO2 up here at some point though, just to give it a bit of a push through, but it's going down by gravity now. So we started off with 23 litres and we're now at 21, so it is a process, but it's worth it at the end. As I said, I had a little sneaky sample of the verdant hazy IPA last night, and it was absolutely delicious. Neighbour Steve thought it was good too. And he's a proper real ale person. He's not into these crafty, what they call craft beers now, which Verdant Light Bulb is considered to be a craft beer. But even he said it was beautiful, and the aroma was just amazing. I wish the cameras had smellorama, but they don't. Right, so that's been quite a while, and we're just coming up to probably about 19 litres in that keg, and that's kind of what we want. We don't want it completely full because of the headspace for some CO2 to do its thing in there. So what I'm going to do is I shall disconnect here. A little bit of dribble comes out, but nothing major. I'll put that in there. And disconnect the CO2. And put that in there. And that keg is pretty much done. I'll do the same for the remaining beer that's in the fermenter there. I know that looks a bit gooey, but in there is some beer. It's just on the edge. So I'll take that and then put it in that little mini keg down there. So a similar idea for this little chap. He holds 4 litres. And I am going to connect the beer to it. Try and do this one-handed. Or not. So the beer should be flowing into there now. And once again, I will connect the gas so it goes back in the fermenter to push it all out. There we go. And beer is flowing into that. Just see it. Fully carbonated already because we pressure fermented. We've got, you can just see the beer we got in the bottom. Yes, there is some scum on the top, but that will not come through. I had it in that little jug for some stability, but now it's got some beer in it. You can see it's filling up, and hopefully we'll get close to 4 litres in there. Well, we didn't get 4 litres, we got maybe 2.5. That's alright. It just got a little bit too scummy in here, and it just, I don't think anyone really wants to drink that. So I pulled the plug and we got 2.5 litres in there, and we got about 19 in this one. So good result, I think. And as I said, it tastes wonderful. The only thing I need to do, one other thing, and I just need to check the final gravity on it. I've showed that before, so checking the initial gravity anyway, so we can see what the final gravity is to come up with what the alcohol content is in our beer. So what I've done is I've drawn off some beer from that keg using a little tap, and I put it in this flask, and I've got a hydrometer that I'm going to put in here that should spin it, show us our final gravity. It's difficult because there's a bit of froth on there, but I would say, well, I'll leave it for a minute. Okay, this has settled down a bit. It's very difficult to tell, but I think that's coming at about 1007, maybe. because just below that top black line there, that is 1006. It could be 7, it could be 8. I'm going to just put this in a little calculator. What shall we go with? I'll do 8. Not sure if you can see that. That's come out at 4.45. That's really nice. Very drinkable. So I hope you enjoyed all of that. There is one more thing to show you. Saving the best till last, I've now got to clean that out. And that involves cleaning with a acid solution and then sanitizing like I did before, ready for the next brew. So what do you think I should make next? Do I go with another type of IPA, a hazy IPA? Do I try a Sierra Nevada again? Because I really like Sierra Nevada. I've got an ale going inside under a normal fermenter. Just a basic, really nice ale, I hope. So let me know what you think I should brew. Talk to you later. Bye.